when Jim Chant and I talked about having the candidate dialogue here, we were so excited about the great space that this is, and we said, plus, you can have a beer. But we're going to ask that out of respect to the candidates, that during the dialogue and discussion, you do listen to them, so don't hear people chatting and talking at the bar. There will be time for that afterwards. Speaking of this great space, I want to all to thank the owners. Danny Welch. Danny, where are you? As some of you know, we were going to have this on 15 Oak Street, right next to, I won't even mention the name. We were going to have it there, and the basement where we were going to have it got flooded out. It had nothing to do with it. But this is a far, far better space. I called Paul Carnieri, and I said, Paul, we have a problem with the space flood. He said, talk to Danny Welch. If there's a progressive cause, Danny will be there for you. So Danny, thanks again. Some of you may know that today, April 17th, almost to the day, is a year from the first meeting of the Bay Court viewpoint in the business. The co-founder, Jim Chant, is going to be the moderator tonight, and I decided, because of the horror that everybody else was having, because of the election of Trump, that we wanted to do something more. And what we said that first night, that one of the principal primary goals was to defeat Lee Zeldin and we talked about the need for voter turnout as the most important thing. And I have to tell you, I admire these 5 folks up here so much to actually enter the arena, to try to make the world better. You all I admire for that. That I, for full disclosure, unlike Sean Hannity, I want to have full disclosure. I am not going to be able to participate in tonight's discussion because I contributed to one of the candidates. But I have to tell you, on June 27th, former student, on June 27th, I'm going to support whoever wins. Turn it over to the co-founder of Bay Court Viewpoint Indivisible and a great former student, Jim Chant.
Can everybody hear me from here? Yeah. Okay. We decided we wanted to do this, and as Jim said, absolutely misfortune, but I think this is a fantastic place. We're excited. We got this here. Hope everybody enjoys the evening. What I'd like to, my goal here is that we have a spirited, competitive discussion, but one that lifts everybody up. We don't want to have something where we win by tearing everybody down. We know that does happen. We know we go back to the last presidential election. We rose up from the ashes of that contest. Yeah, he won, but we all lost. Okay? So all I want to say is on your base. So let me just move on to this. Let me thank our co-sponsors, Southern Progressives, and Long Island Can't Resist, a local group here from Patchogue. Also, East End Action Network gave us some support. Andy Hendler did the wonderful Blue Wave graphic that we used for our, and then John Bojack is doing the filming back. So Bojack, thank you for him. And again, as Jim said, remember all of you, June 26th, is the primary, so make sure you vote. Okay, with that, I'm going to explain the format actually. We're going to, one of you is going to start, you fold up that piece of paper and put it in here. I'll get somebody to draw it out of the hat. That'll be the first candidate. My legs are long enough, I can do that. Okay, there we go, we'll shake this up. Okay, and somebody want to pull out a name out of this. Okay, thank you. And we had a special jar for the occasion. Okay, and the winner is? Okay, Kate Browning will be the first to talk about how this is going to work. Let me explain the format. There will be 6 questions from the moderator that we've already predetermined. The first question, and only the first question, will have 2 minutes to respond. Our timekeeper, Rick Wilkie, thank you, Rick. He will hold up that sign with the yellow exclamation point. That'll be 30 seconds. And when he turns it around, please try to stop. I mean, if you're mid-sentence, finish your sentence.
Doesn't paddle us.
So, the next 5 questions, we will give you 90 seconds to answer. There will be no cross-candidate questioning. If somebody makes a challenge to one of the other questions, I can give 30 seconds to the person who's challenged to respond to it. That makes it a little hard for our timekeeper. I also have to ask a follow-up question if I feel this. In the follow-up questions, there will be a 1 minute time period. After that, I ask you to fill out cards. We have Allison and Warren over there. They're screenings, mostly for duplicates. We don't want to have duplicate questions. They will come up close. Bring those up to me. I will read those questions, as many as we can. Probably we're only going to get 6 to 8. If there's time permitting, then we will turn the question over. So that's the format. Get ready to start. So now I'll use the mic. So remember, this is the 2-minute question, and I want you to, in this question, also to tell you who you are and what. But the question is, why are you the best candidate to unseat Lee Zeldin and represent New York's 1st Congressional District? And Kate, you started. And we'll do one thing I forgot. We'll work it this way. So David, and then we'll shift it around each time, so everybody will get to go first. Okay? So Kate, you're up.
Well, I want to say thank you, first of all, for having me here. Hope everyone can hear. Why I can beat Lee Zeldin? Well, I was a Suffolk County legislator for the past 12 years, representing the 3rd Legislative District. It's a very high Republican district. However, I have been able to win that election, win my elections every year with no less than 57% of the vote in a very high Republican district. And the reason being is prior to me being a legislator, I was a school bus driver and a union rep. And it's the need to connect with the blue-collar voters. In the town of Brookhaven, which is where the majority of the votes are, it's a very blue-collar district. And we need to connect with those blue-collar voters in order to win this election. So being the former school bus driver, union rep, a legislator that I have a great record, I've won with no less than 57%. I believe my last 2 elections were 62 and 63%. That's why I can win this election. We need to connect to the blue-collar voters. Again, my husband is a New York City detective. He's an Army veteran. I have 2 sons in the Air Force. And that's what the people in the district see. And Lee Zeldin, again, why can I beat him? Is because he's absent. He spent more time on MSNBC and Fox News than being in his district and having town hall meetings. So we need a representative who wants to represent the district and be present in the district. And that's something that I can take a lot of credit for. I've done in my district. I was present. People know me by first name only. That's all they need to know me by. And I'm very proud of the work that I've done as a legislator, my environmental record, working on one of the largest sewer projects since the Southwest Sewer District, which will create good jobs and protect our water. So I have a lot of pride in the work that I've done, And I believe that's why I can be elected and beat Lee Zeldin.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. To beat Lee Zeldin, we would be making a mistake if we picked out one demographic and all set our sights on connecting with just that demographic. I'm a scientist. I've worked at Brookhaven National Laboratory for the last 21 years, and my job is to analyze and solve problems. I have worked side by side with the technicians who are the blue-collar workers here, with foreign nationals, with immigrants who have come here, with people who've moved to Long Island and made it their home, with people who've had all of their education here. And I know that we need to bring out so many different types of people to win this election. They're going to come out for different reasons. Some of them understand that government has to solve problems and that we need representatives who listen and who get the facts straight instead of finding out who the enemy is, which is the only thing Lee Zeldin knows how to do. Other people will come out and vote just because they're so angry at this administration that has thrown truth and facts out the window. Other people will come out because the environment is something that they don't trust a politician to take care of in this day and age. Other people will come out because they want to see a fresh face, someone who hasn't been a politician before, someone who hasn't been a candidate before. That's what I'm bringing to this race. And I want to say that last time I was on this stage, I was playing keyboards in a rock band. And that was really good preparation for Democratic candidate forums. Democratic candidate forums are just like those other shows. You need the bar to be open.
Thank you, Elaine.
So, my name's Perry Gershon. Thank you for coming and listening. I'm running for Congress, as you know. I think I know many of you, but not all of you. I'm not a career politician. I got into this because I'm outraged by what's going on in the country. And I'm scared about what our future is going to be like if we, as Democrats, nationally, don't win this election. I am a lifelong Democrat. I voted for the first time in 1980, and I worked on Ted Kennedy's campaign. And I've been very involved in politics from the outside since then. I've raised a family, I opened a sports bar, I had a career in commercial real estate. But as I said, I'm just outraged by what's happening after the election of Trump. And that's what got me involved. And I think there are a lot of people out there who have that same sense of outrage. How are we going to win this election? We're going to win it on turnout. We need to get the progressives to come out and vote. And I think my story will help do that. We need to win this election by bringing people who are in the middle, the swing voters, to vote Democratic. And I think my story will help do that. And I think exemplifying Lee Zeldin's weaknesses and his extremism will do that. So let's talk about a few issues. Lee Zeldin is as wrong as could be on guns. And I think we're going to highlight that. Lee Zeldin's for concealed carry reciprocity, and he gets more money from the NRA. And we just need to bang at Zeldin for what he stands for. Lee Zeldin's wrong on the environment. Lee Zeldin is wrong in his faith in Donald Trump, and his support of Trump is unwavering. He is an extremist, and I think I've got the ability to bring that out. I have a great organization. We got over almost 3,300 petitions signed to get on the ballot. I think we've got the energy in this district, and I think we can just organize and, as I said, get enough turnout and enough swing voters to win at the end of the day.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. It's great to see you here this evening. Thank you for being here and being active in the political process. I was a Suffolk County legislator for 13 years. And during those 13 years, I was the chair of the Environment Committee for almost all of them. And I not only supported environmental initiatives, I was a person who introduced forward-thinking pieces of legislation that became models for other parts of the country. I also was a person who stood with our immigrants. I stood up against the fear-mongering that came out of the county executive's office. And I'm the only person here who did that. I'm the only person running for this office who has stood for women and supported women. When I knew that I was going to be term limited, I had hired a woman to work in my office and encouraged her to run for my position. Her name is Cara Hahn. She's now the majority leader in the Suffolk County Legislature. I also encouraged, for 2 years, I worked with Valerie Cartwright, getting her to agree to run, and now she's the only Democratic member of the Brookhaven Town Council. So I support women, I take care of the environment, I look out for injustices toward immigrants. So I'm not just promising you these things. This is what I did when I was a sitting legislator, and this is what I did as a private citizen after I was term limited. I will also work against the extremism of Zeldin, who is the greatest customer for the NRA. And they certainly pay him enough. We will beat Lee Zeldin. Why? Because I am a working person, and working people wear all color collars, and they are all over our 1st Congressional District. We don't want to typecast people. We want to be there for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
You good to go?
Yes, good to go.
Oh, there we go. Okay. I'm all set. All right. Second take? Okay, so good evening, I'm David Pachevsky. Thanks so much to the organizers for putting this together. And it's also very convenient for me because my office actually is at 15 Oak Street, not in the part that was flooded, fortunately. So, although my daughter came and said it is smelling a little like SeaWorld, but anyway, we'll put that aside. So we're entering a different phase of this campaign. We've gotten ourselves on the ballot, and congratulations to my fellow candidates for submitting their petitions. And now we're at this point where those of you that haven't made up your mind are going to have to make a decision on June 26th of which one of us is the one to beat Lee Zeldin, and beat him in the way that you want him to be beaten. So I want to take a little bit of a different approach to answering this question. What I want to do is I want to pose some questions for you to think about as we have this discussion. So first, which candidate has the breadth and depth of both domestic and foreign policy experience to go toe-to-toe with Zeldin? Because we're going to need to do both. Secondly, which candidate is going to be effective in Congress? How are they going to operate in Congress? Do they have the skills needed to be able to build coalitions, to master the intricacies of the legislative process, to tackle a massive budget and the complications of the budget process and public policy, and to use the resources that you need to do to be an effective legislator, the Congressional Budget Office and so forth. And then third, and perhaps most importantly, which candidate stands for the principles that the Democratic Party should embody? Economic fairness, equal justice before the law, respect for different kinds of people, respect for other countries, respect for the environment. These are things I've stood for all my life. They've been how I've worked in public service. If you join me, we're going to beat Lee Zeldin, and we're going to beat him in a way that sends shockwaves across the country.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so now we are going to go to the 90-second response. And I promise you I will not cut this down anymore. We won't make you talk faster and shorter. So this actually now goes to Elaine. So the question is, what legislation do you propose to bring the increasing wealth inequality we have in this country under control and restore middle-class opportunity?
The question was, what will we do in Congress right away to restore wealth equality and to bring Long Island the prosperity that we deserve, and the whole country the prosperity that we deserve. There always has to be two parts to every plan. What will we do to make Long Island specifically better, and how do we present that in a divided and difficult Congress? Here on Long Island, our new economy can be based on clean energy jobs. Not just jobs, clean energy innovation, renewable energy prototyping, clean energy infrastructure manufacturing, the installation, the maintenance, the tooling is so well matched to what we do here on Long Island. We have the laboratories that do this kind of research. We have regions of our district where people are doing manufacturing, a technology corridor. Just fit the puzzle pieces together. That's what we can bring here. We will not be dependent on fossil fuels. We'll be creating something of value here in our district and exporting it outside the region. This is beneficial for the whole country, and it's part of what we have to do to take $3 trillion from the wealthiest and bring it back down to where people are working. Along with the jobs, we have to address that social safety net. And if there is a difficult tiebreaker in Congress, my vote will be with the young people. So relief from student loan interest would be a candidate for me.
Colin wants a question. I said, will you? The next question, sorry, but you get this going. Okay. Give me a little hint, you know. What legislation would you propose to bring increasing wealth inequality under control and restore middle-class opportunity?
So in terms of how do we restore the middle class in America, I think you have to look back at how the middle class came under attack. And it really dates back to the 1980s and Ronald Reagan,